Today, I want to talk about snake worship in India. Why do so many Indians worship snakes? And why is it that we especially worship the King Cobra? I am not going to go into the asuras and demons and all those stories because they are not real. They are just mythological stories which have been passed down from generation to generation. Instead, I want to talk about the real reasons why snakes are worshipped in India. Before we start, I would like to point out that worshipping snakes is very dangerous. If you don't know what you are doing, if you are not trained, don't try it at home. In ancient times, the only way to preserve human cells was to mummify them or to keep them frozen. So if you want to freeze a body, you need ice. The coldest place on Earth is Antarctica. So most of the mummies are found in Antarctica. Now, Antarctica has a lot of penguins, seals, and other animals. But if these animals are killed, then who will control the rat population there? No one. So what do these animals do when they die? They become mummies. Well, actually, they become snake food. This is how most cobras get their venom. They eat penguins, seals, and other dead animals that are frozen, and they get their venom from them. This is why the cobra is known as the king of snakes. It feeds on the rarest, the purest, and the most potent source of venom on Earth. This makes the cobra the most powerful snake. But since humans started going to Antarctica, there were fewer and fewer cobras. Today, there are only 20 cobras left on Earth. So people who want to get married must hurry up before cobras become extinct. If you can kill a cobra, you can have any girl you want. Cobras are also considered a symbol of fertility. A male cobra lifts his hood to show dominance and fertility. Do you know why? Because males produce more sperm than females. Sperm count is a big problem for men today. There was a time when men could have 600 million sperm in one ejaculation. Today, men are lucky if they have 600 sperm in one ejaculation. In order to increase the sperm count, you need to feed your body pure and potent cobra venom. This is why every boy who reaches puberty drinks a small amount of cobra venom. This helps the boy to grow into a strong man. Now let me tell you something interesting. The biggest threat to cobras today is global warming. As the temperature increases, ice melts, and cobras lose their source of food. Scientists predict that in a few years, cobras may become extinct. That is why many boys are trying to be reborn as cobras in their next birth. They say if you are born as a cobra, you will never suffer from global warming. You will always find enough food, and you will rule the planet. The first reason why snakes are worshipped is that they symbolize Kundalini energy. Have you ever heard of Kundalini energy? When a person practices meditation, the Kundalini energy starts rising from the root chakra to the crown chakra. During this process, many chakras are activated and different types of experiences occur. In the same way, when a snake slithers, its body keeps rising. This reminds us of the rising of the Kundalini energy. People who meditate often see snakes in their dreams. When such dreams occur, it means that the Kundalini energy is being activated. These people usually take it as a good omen. Reason number 2. Snakes are worshipped because they are believed to be the vehicle of the goddess Kali. Look at the fierce form of the goddess Kali. She wears a garland of snakes. She has snake-like patterns on her body, and she dances on the corpse of the demon king. Kali is called the goddess of death because she destroys our ego and takes us to a higher level of consciousness. Some people think that Kali is actually a giant cobra. We can see this in the famous temple at Kali, where the goddess is shown with a hooded cobra on her head. Reason, no. 3. Snakes are believed to be the vehicle of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is called the god of destruction, but really he is the god of transformation. He transforms the old so that the new can come into existence. For example, when a caterpillar stops being a caterpillar and becomes a butterfly, this transformation is facilitated by Lord Shiva. The butterfly symbolizes immortality. It symbolizes the soul. When the caterpillar dies, its soul goes into the butterfly. This is why Lord Shiva is called the god of transformation. He transforms the mortal body into an immortal soul. In order to reach Lord Shiva, we must first get rid of our ego and our limited thinking. We must learn to look beyond the limitations of our body. When a snake sheds its skin, it teaches us to get rid of our ego. When a snake hibernates in winter, it teaches us to go within. So many people go to the Himalayas in winter to meditate and follow Lord Shiva. Reason no. 4. Snakes are associated with Lord Vishnu. There are several stories from ancient texts which talk about the power of Lord Vishnu. One such story is about the churning of the sea of milk. Once upon a time, demons and gods churned the sea of milk to obtain nectar. To get the nectar, they needed a powerful snake to churn the sea. This is how the King Cobra became the king of snakes. Another story is about the Matsya avatar of Lord Vishnu. The Matsya avatar was the first avatar of Lord Vishnu. When the world was destroyed by a great flood, Lord Vishnu took the form of a fish and saved the 7 sages. But do you know how Lord Vishnu saved the sages? With the help of a giant cobra. The cobra sheltered the sages under its hood and protected them from the flood. So people built a temple to worship this cobra. This temple still stands in Har. Every year, thousands of people visit this temple and offer milk and pray to the cobra. It is believed that if you pray sincerely at this temple, your wishes will be fulfilled. Reason? No. 5. Snakes are worshipped because they symbolize immortality. Snakes can live for hundreds of years without food and water. So, people believe that snakes have some special knowledge which can help us to attain immortality. There is a famous story from ancient India about a sage named Kamuni. This sage had mastered the art of living without food and water. One day, King Janaka visited him and asked how he could live without food and water. The sage told the king that he would reveal this secret to him after 1 year. But before the king could ask him again the next day, the sage had already died. The king was very upset, and he asked his ministers, "How can a sage who knew the art of living without food and water die?" Then the royal priest came and said, "Do you think the sage did not know the art of living without food and water?" The king asked, "If that's not the case, then why did he die?" The priest replied, "Janaka." The sage's name was Astrika, which means snake. But when he was reborn as a human, he forgot that he was originally a snake. Therefore, he died. In order to remember our original nature, we must worship snakes. So these are the reasons why snakes are worshipped in India. I would like to add that snake worship is an advanced spiritual practice, and it should not be taken lightly. Now let's move on to cobra worship. First of all, the cobra is a very powerful snake. Its venom can kill a person instantly, so people who handle cobras must be well trained. Otherwise, it can be very dangerous. Secondly, cobras have a very unique way of moving. When they move, their bodies keep rising. This reminds us of our Kundalini energy. It also reminds us that the individual soul keeps rising on its path to enlightenment. Thirdly, cobras protect their eggs very fiercely. They are very loyal and dedicated parents. They sacrifice their life to protect their children. This teaches us about self-sacrifice and unconditional love. Fourthly, cobras shed their skin from time to time. This symbolizes letting go of the old and making space for the new. It also symbolizes transformation. Finally, cobras hibernate in winter. During this time, they go deep within themselves and conserve their energy. This teaches us to go within and meditate during difficult times. All these qualities of the cobra are revered in India. That is why the cobra is worshipped as a divine being. Now let's talk about the dangers of cobra worship. Many people try to handle cobra snakes without any training. This can be very dangerous. Also, many people try to kill cobra snakes. This is another foolish thing to do because cobra venom is deadly. If you don't know what you are doing, stay away from cobra snakes. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends. Also, check out my other videos on Hinduism. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel and a look at some of the most dangerous snakes in the world. In today's episode, we will be looking at the King Cobra. Now, the King Cobra is one of the biggest venomous snakes in the world. So let's take a closer look at this deadly creature. As always, I would appreciate it if you guys would hit that like button, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already. And as we get into today's episode, remember, it does help out the channel tremendously. So let's get into the episode. King Cobra can be found in South Asia, Southeast Asia, China, Korea, and Japan. They are also known as the Indian cobra or the Asian cobra, and they belong to the family of Eli. The name King Cobra comes from their ability to dominate other snakes, and not because they are royalty. Although they do deserve the title sometimes, there are two subspecies, the monocled cobra and the king cobra. There are many different types of cobra snakes, but there's only two king cobras. Even though there are multiple types of cobra snakes, the king cobra is considered its own genus. The king cobra has a distinctive hood that when threatened expands up to twice the size of the snake's head. It has a very distinct shape with the scales forming two keels along the top of the head. King cobras have a neurotoxic venom that can be deadly to humans, but usually they won't bite unless they feel threatened. When they do bite, they can release anywhere between 120 to 500 milligrams of venom, which contains proteins that attack the nervous system, and the venom can be fatal within 12 minutes. If antivenom is administered quickly after a bite, then it can be treated, but if left untreated, the victim will go into respiratory failure and then cardiac arrest. There are many myths about the king cobra being aggressive and attacking people unprovoked, but really they are more docile than most other snakes. They will strike if they feel threatened or cornered, but usually they will try to escape rather than confront whatever threat they are facing. One of the reasons why the king cobra gets such a bad rap is because they are sometimes found in areas where people live, and sometimes they end up getting into houses and even beds. Usually this is because their natural habitat is being destroyed and they are being forced to move closer to humans. King cobras prefer to live in moist environments such as near water, and they are excellent swimmers. The king cobra is the longest venomous snake in the world, with the longest recorded specimen being over 18 feet long. However, an average size for a king cobra is around 13 to 16 feet. They are heavy-set snakes, weighing up to 15 pounds. King cobras are carnivorous and will eat pretty much anything that moves. Their diet consists of other snakes, birds, rodents, monkeys, bats, frogs, fish, and even other cobras. They will eat just about anything. Like most snakes, king cobras are cold-blooded and must rely on external sources to regulate their body temperature. They are mostly active during the day and spend their time hunting for food. When they find prey, they strike quickly and inject their venom through two hollow fangs. After the venom takes effect, the king cobra swallows its prey whole. Sometimes they regurgitate their food before swallowing it, depending on what it is that they ate. The female king cobra is larger than the male and can reach a length of over 20 feet. Males usually max out around 16 feet. During mating season, males will compete for the right to mate with a female. They will coil themselves up and then strike each other's heads until one of them backs down. Once a male has successfully mated with a female, he will guard her until she gives birth. In some cases, the male will actually carry the female around until she lays her eggs. This is not a common behavior in snakes. Females give birth to live young, which is also known as viviparity. Most snakes lay eggs, so this is another unusual trait for the king cobra. The gestation period is around 7 months, and the mother can give birth to up to 40 babies. The young king cobras are independent from birth and can fend for themselves. Now, this next part is kinda gross, but the baby king cobras actually kill and eat their siblings while still in the womb. This ensures that the strongest survive. This is also known as intrauterine cannibalism. Now let's talk about the lifespan of the king cobra. They are known to live up to 30 years in the wild, but they can live longer in captivity. A lot of zoos claim that their king cobras have lived well over 50 years. So now let's talk about the king cobra's place in the ecosystem. King cobras play an important role in controlling populations of other animals. As I mentioned earlier, they are predators and will eat just about anything that moves. This helps to keep the numbers of rodents and other small animals in check. Also, by eating other snakes, the king cobra helps to control their populations as well. Now let's talk about how the king cobra is affected by climate change. As I mentioned earlier, they are cold-blooded and rely on external sources to regulate their body temperature. This means that they are very sensitive to changes in temperature. Climate change is causing temperatures to rise, and this is causing the king cobra to move to higher altitudes in search of cooler temperatures. This is having an impact on the king cobra's prey, and this in turn is affecting the king cobra's food supply. One way that people are helping to mitigate this problem is by creating artificial reefs. These are structures that are placed in rivers and lakes that provide a place for the king cobra to cool off. People are also working to protect the king cobra's habitat. By doing this, they are ensuring that the king cobra has the resources it needs to survive. Another threat to the king cobra is poaching. They are sometimes hunted for their skin, meat, and venom. Their skins are used to make leather products, and their venom is used in the snake trade. This is having a negative impact on the king cobra population. To help protect the king cobra, people are working to raise awareness about the importance of these creatures. They are also working to create sanctuaries where king cobras can live free from poachers. So what is being done to conserve the king cobra? As I mentioned earlier, people are working to raise awareness about the importance of these creatures. They are also working to create sanctuaries where king cobras can live free from poachers. Another thing that is being done is research. By learning more about the king cobra, we can better understand how to protect them. For example, researchers are studying the effects of climate change on the king cobra and developing ways to mitigate these effects. Overall, the future of the king cobra is looking bright, thanks to the work of conservationists and research. So there you have it, the king cobra, one of the most dangerous snakes in the world. I hope you enjoyed learning about this amazing creature. If you did, please hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, thanks for watching.